Hello, and welcome to yet another episode of the Conversation Capital. This is V.
I'm good. How are you?
I am great, thank you. Given, are you joining us?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Give.
How are you guys?
It is the Get Ready With Me episode, and so what happens here is we go through reflections for the week. We also go through comments and questions. So, we'll just try to do that as I get ready for our guests for today. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we'll begin with the reflections. Mm-hmm. As you know, I've been very ill this week. And I'm just thinking about, like, the saying that says, health is wealth is not joking. I felt so terrible this week. I haven't felt like myself, and it hasn't been a nice experience. Like, I'm at home, booked off from work, but just not feeling like yourself is just not nice. And I was just thinking about people with really long-term terminal illnesses, like just how that could lead to a huge change in your life. For me, it was just this week, and today I can feel I'm getting back to myself. But just thinking about someone who's in this position long term, and that the fact that I was booked off work, like it felt like, okay, maybe I can get time to like rest and catch up on some my things that I can watch. But that rest wasn't rest because I wanted it. So I was just reflecting on
forced rest.
Yeah, just how much your health not being optimal can take away from you, your everyday life, your capabilities. And I was just thinking about people who are in this position for much longer periods. I've just been having thoughts around that. Like, my health taking a knock hasn't been nice.
And it's a simple, simple. You've got like a upper respiratory tract infection. I'm laughing because Ponga struggles to say the word respiratory. So, but when you look at people have some like serious ailments, and yes, like with me, started the year with malaria, and then remember later I had that surgery in May, and then I was sick more often than I've ever been in the year 2024, or unwell more often than I've ever been. And yes, absolutely, it has taken a knock on my mental health. So I hear what you're saying. Me too, this year more than ever, I've valued just being healthy, being able to go to the gym. Because every time you can't go to the gym for like 6 weeks, you're like,
your body must recuperate.
You can't go to the gym, then your mental health takes a knock. It was really a difficult year because of that. So I hear exactly what you're saying. And
this is the point I forgot to make when I was speaking about, yes, I'm on rest, but it's not the type of rest. The quality of my sleep, the quality of, like, I would just be getting up to make a meal or whatever. It would take so much from me. And this is us speaking from, like, we have access to quick doctors and medical aid and all of that. There's a whole other layer. Speaking about this, guys, given Ursula, you can also chime in. The guilt of having to be booked off work.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys. But it felt like, oh my gosh, they can see I'm sick. Like, yes. I'm really not playing.
Yes. You feel like you need to justify and be like, guys. Yeah. The work thing is also hectic.
The only good thing about me is that, or one of the good things about me though, I'm very strict. If I'm on sick leave, I will not open that laptop, not for anything. But I know people who do continue to work, maybe here and there, although they are on sick leave. So for me, I do feel like, oh my gosh, it feels like it's just the shame of this, and you can't help it. Someone was also saying to me, I was like to the person, I still don't feel like I'm 100% ready to go back to work next week. And then the person listened to this was like, yeah, just go, Guti. You have to come back. They can tell that you're not fine, so they'll send you back. But just go, just to show you weren't lying or anything. Yes. Guilt, guys, of having to be away from work.
And if you feel like that, and I know you prioritize like your mental health, your well-being over work all the time, and you're very open about it and vocal about it. And so imagine other people that don't have that character.
Yeah, because I will unashamedly, I'm on sick leave. I cannot respond to this, or I can't do this. But yeah, guys, health is wealth. Take care of yourselves.
Take care.
I don't feel guilty when I'm off sick,
At all.
I think maybe it also speaks to, and I get it, because Well, first of all, I often don't take leave. So I stack up my leave until the end of the year. So when I'm sick, when I'm not at work, I am genuinely not at work because I'm sick. But what I've realized is if you're working for particularly maybe you have a person that you report to, right? If they're insecure, you'll often find that they will assume that you're out looking for work, which can lead to a lot of you feeling bad. And I understand the thing of feeling bad, right? But I'm wondering if it's not a thing that needs to change to a certain degree. You know, like how we often have conversations about like shame, for example, like particularly shame coming externally. Like I wonder if it's not a feeling that work wants us to have. Right, because you get countries where people will go on maternity leave is the whole year, and those companies are thriving, they're productive, you understand, it's not like people are, yes, obviously here and there you'll get people who take advantage, but those companies are actually working and thriving. So there's a part of me that wonders, Wuti, is it not something we learn from the company, subtle, it's not in your face, that puts us in that state of feeling, because you're entitled to those days. Obviously take them when you're sick, so that when you actually, because if you take them when you're not, depending on how many you get a year, and then when you actually need them, now you have a problem.
And I think with me it also relates to it's just a whole lot of interaction of various factors. For example, okay, it's no longer just started. I'm probably going on to like 7 months now, right? So you're solidifying yourself in the company as well. But here you are, you also have a small baby. So I have been off work sometimes to take care of my baby. But remember, all of these things are critical duties, you know? But because, like you said, the nature of work and what work wants us to feel like, you feel like, hey, this is too much. Like, you know, you just have this way as you are entitled to these things, you know? And I must say, you're right when you say it's the nature of the work that creates, because in my team, there's no one who'll make you feel that way about laying off work. Instead, people are checking up, are you okay, etc. But it's just how I think we're just very anxious workers.
We're anxious workers, but also I think of the climate of South Africa, the retrenchments, the rate of unemployment that constantly put you in this position where you should be grateful. I mean, given us comparing us to first world countries where they're looking for, you know, even employees to come from out of the country. So we've got a job crisis. So you're constantly made to feel like you should be grateful you have a job.
That's a very
you
good
should
point.
be grateful you
That's
have a
good
job,
point.
you know, because of the climate of our country and our economy. Yeah.
Absolutely. And yours, Ursula?
My reflection is ke kwatile. Kwatile ke
And guys, before we started this segment, she was just like, I feel like this is a venting thing for me and I'm angry.
Yes.
And here you are.
We knew it was coming.
Yes.
I just didn't expect that kikwat.
Ke kwatile. No, man. You know what? I've been on such a long journey with religion. Very long and difficult journey. Like, for me, pursuing God has been like the most tumultuous, is that the word, journey of my life. And then one day, you know, one will say an epiphany, somebody else will say the Holy Spirit, whatever it is, but like almost released me of the captivity that I was living in. That, wow, you're actually not enjoying pursuing me as your God. You're in so much fear of saying the wrong thing, you know, contradicting yourself, you know, like you're really not enjoying this pursuit of this higher power that is God, that is me. And so I've been very conscious of that moving forward. And this is recent. I can easily say in the past year and a half of my life, where I tried to approach religion, God, in a way that is not fearful. Or that, because, you know, God didn't give us a spirit of fear, like God is love. And so for me to embrace and like be curious in a way that allows me to genuinely like interrogate how I feel about something, to genuinely like ask and be curious in a sincere way where my relationship with God is sincere. And I know that in that I step on toes, you know, especially people that are super religious And I've seen the sort of fear that is needed to navigate some of these chats, and I've really liberated myself, or trying rather, because this is a captivity of the mind.
Give us context. For example, fear unotabai.
Fear to be like, hey, taba submission I can't understand something like that. To like really question and really like be like,
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
Almost like that doesn't make you a true woman of valor, woman of stature, woman of, you know, of God, or whatever. You know, submission maybe is a bad, because I actually don't struggle with submission, but you know, those sort of questions that really things that you're just like, I don't think I
just questioning certain tenets of the Bible.
Yeah, you know. And so in being this person who like questions and in being this person,
God doesn't want that.
God doesn't want this, you know.
It's a very good example that you're using. Because many can relate to that specific one.
Yes. I've found that I need to be in a very safe space to do it. And being somebody who like chats on podcasts and whatever, I recently, I was asked a question on another podcast. What do you identify as? Like, what is your idea? Then I said, you know, I would have easily said church in the past, but I not recently, maybe 3 years ago, realized that, if ever I really question this Christianity thing and decide, hey, I don't think I can be a Christian, everybody that's my friend will no longer be my friend. So it makes me wonder, are they really my community? Yes, they are my community. But, you know, within the context that I subscribe to this religion, which is fine, I understand that. I say that I understand that needs to be there. But it made me sit and say, okay, who is there stripped away of everything else, stripped away of money, stripped away of religion, stripped away of whatever, health, you know, like who are the people? Then I said, for me, that makes me get to the conclusion that I identify as a Mariani. My family will be there. My family will be there when I'm broke. And then this person came at me, man, in the comments, like, Ursula calls herself a Christian, but doesn't identify. And I was like, so hurt. It hurt me so much. And I'm like, why is it that it must be fear that you use to engage with me? You know, when you know fear is a tactic ya Satan, and then you call yourself the Christian, but you can't come at me with love. You can't come. There's this, and now I'm going full Christian here. Jeremiah 31:3. Yeah, I have loved thee with an everlasting love, and it is by this love I have drawn thee to me. If God is saying He uses love as a tactic to draw us, how dare you try to use like fear, scare tactics, you know, to make me love God better in your eyes? You know, so I really got so like.
I feel sorry for that person who put that comment.
So yeah, the whole week I've just been like, this is why I avoid talking about religion on any public platform, and I only talk about religion in the comfort of my home with my people, because it's just so difficult to engage. People are so ready to like shame you and scare you and Bible bash you, and it's like, dog, I'm also on a journey. You know?
I guess you've answered me, because I was thinking to myself, Maha Ishla, we always get like backlash around a lot of topics, but I think it's because it's your journey, you're going through the process.
So sensitive for me. It's so sensitive for me. You know, that's why like I had that moment. I said, this is why you promised yourself you would not indulge in conversations around religion. I mean, look at the short that we posted with the lady who came and spoke about Lefetu. I can't remember what is her name. Emma.
Yes.
The short says, I say to Bonga, I know you're a Christian, but you know you're not such a conservative. You're a liberal Christian. And somebody commented to say, what a scary world we live in, where people can just label themselves liberal Christians in order not to. I said, why are you guys so ready to be angry and crucify and
It's clearly we've already gotten into the comments. This counts. This absolutely counts.
Yeah, we're officially in the comments.
So I like the point that you're on, and I think maybe it does need a little bit more reflecting on it, right? Because here's my thing. Guys, what are we if we are, as a society, if we're afraid to have the important conversation?
Absolutely.
I understand you not wanting to have a conversation. Like I was having a conversation with someone at a braai, and for me, it felt like they just kept antagonizing. And in fact, particularly with Christianity, that is their approach. So if you're having a conversation one-on-one or within a social setting, I understand if you're uncomfortable or you just don't want to engage, particularly because of the hostility you face immediately. But now I wonder, like, if we're not willing, but if you let me say it like this: if you identify as a Christian, I'm saying it generally, and you're given a platform to share, not to minister or anything like that, just to have people understand you as a Christian. Like, what are we if we don't allow ourselves to have those conversations, right? And because it's not just our faith, or it's not just what we believe. It happens in a number of things, like conversations around men do this, women do that, right? People get a bit charged when it comes to those conversations.
Yes.
And I think also with online, just skip to the next comment.
True. But like I said, specific. Yeah, I really struggle with some comments, but I think specifically when it comes to religion, I'm so sensitive. And like I said, it's because it was, it's been, the bane of my existence. Bane is a bad word, but like a very highlighting feature of my existence.
I get you.
Yeah. And so like, I always hear, you don't know how much I've struggled with these thoughts myself, and liberating myself. And how dare you try to bondage me? But anyway, so that was my reflection. It was a rant.
Should I tell them what I'm preaching on trains? Guys,
Ursula is a flame when it comes to
She's trying to shame me right now.
But we want to show how far you come with this journey. Ursula used to minister on trains.
Trains, you're exaggerating, but yes, I used to do like evangelism group. I used to be part of an evangelism group. Yes. Trains is an exaggerate, but I'd spend my holidays like in villages and ministering and stuff. Yeah.
Come to Christ, fire.
I don't know. I don't think I would go back to seeing that person, the Christian that I was then, versus now, it's two different people.
Which also, I think you've just answered the question, because it does beg the question of, was the issue in you reading that comment more with you, or with that person also expressing where they are at? Although I do also absolutely agree that if someone expresses something about their faith and you disagree with them, the approach should be in love. Because I've particularly learned that online, people always, they're constantly charged, unnecessarily so, whereas they can clearly hear what you're saying. But because you said it online. Because I mean, at best case scenario, I would have imagined myself saying, look, I like, glory be to God. Oh, I don't know how I can express this, but it's good that you're at a place where you can be honest about where you're at. And I do hope that you get to a place where you can identify more with Christ than with your family. Right? That's more of a speaking life into.
I hear you, like eating with kindness and love. I hear you. There's this other scene where Megan Good is being called out, like, don't dress like that, honey. Don't dress like that. And then her husband at the time, her ex-husband now, Devon says, that's everything we're not going to do. We're not going to stand here and my wife should nod while you try to shame my wife. I love my wife. I love the way she dresses. I love everything about her, and God loves her just the way she is. And then Megan says something, and this is the part where, because I mean, everybody focuses on Devon, whatever his name is, defending her. But it's the part where she says, and if you really do have a problem, pray for me. Pray that the Holy Spirit convicts me. That it shouldn't be you. It shouldn't be you. This is officially turned into a sermon. I'm so sorry, guys.
I don't think so.
Let's move on.
Yeah, I also don't think so.
I don't think so.
But I never forget that, to say, if you really, really mean it, pray for me. Pray for me in love and say, God, I don't think Ursula's seeing it the right way. Pray for, that's it. Anyway.
I was having a conversation with a friend just yesterday, actually, and we were talking about a number of things. First of all, talking about the fact that us as men are struggling to have deeper conversations with one another. So we're actually having these conversations with two different people. So first of all, we were having the conversation about us men not being able to just have honest conversations with each other. And he said something very interesting. He was like, we men need to learn to say I love you more. And here's the thing. by the way, you guys can't see her, but Bonga's nodding. Right? Here's the thing. I don't agree with that necessarily. What I'm trying to say about that is I don't think saying I love you is what men need. What men need is the act of love towards one another, right? Of love and respect towards one another. Because and the reason I say that is, for one, I don't think, Uguti, for men, that is a deep yearning for us to be told by other men that you love me. What I feel is what's needed more is, like, for example, I need someone who's going to call me and check up on me and say, yo, bro, are you okay? You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Like someone who's going to be earnestly, there's this thing, I don't know if you watched it, Ursh. I think I sent you a link of these guys who do Wednesday, they call them Waffle Wednesdays. Where they said they just had to sound very twinkly, you know. Yeah, so what they do is they give each other an update of how the week is going, and then they do it on Wednesday because it's like the midpoint of the week. They give each other an update. Hey, this is what's been happening in my life. This is work. This is family. This is my relationship with God, and etc. etc. And they've turned it. It's not even something that they were doing and thinking much of it, but they've been doing it so consistently that it's just become a thing that they do. And their wives are the ones that were reminding them, but you know, this thing that you guys do, we can actually see the difference that it's making in your lives.
Wow.
Like we can actually see that it's putting you in a, and it also brings me back to that statistic of just how many men actually die immediately after their wives pass on. And I've come to understand why men marry so quickly after their wives have passed on. Because when the loneliness you feel as a guy, when your partner is gone and you're only left with your male friends, right? Because once you've gotten married, you weren't as close with your female friends. Absolutely. Right? You kept a respectable distance, and all you now have are your male friends who don't even know how to, it's not even that they don't want to necessarily, they don't know how to check up on you, how to keep you, like conversation on the phone that lasts for 30 minutes or longer. Those things are rare. Like I'm even 30 minutes, I'm stretching it. Right? I'm really stretching it. So the reflection basically being the fact that I've been thinking a lot about what I can do, which is something that I've been practicing little by little, what I can do in spite of what my friends are capable of doing, to make sure that I show up for them, right? In spite of where they're at. Sure. So you went home to visit your mom. Yo, dude, how was the trip back home? You know, and ask a few questions. How was your son with your mom? And you know, you told me that you doing this at work, or you just started a new job. Out of nowhere, just constantly ask you, how is the new job? You've mentioned that you have anxiety at some, even if I think for men, actually, this works a lot because we don't remember these things very easily, but setting reminders, it seems very mechanical, right? Like setting a reminder to check up on someone. But for a lot of guys, that actually is probably the best way that they'll remember to do so. Like, I think it's such a necessary thing for us to learn, you know?
And I like that you're saying, in spite of wherever the person is, in terms of what they want to do on their side. So it's more action from your end for the relationship, and not weighing it on whether the person is responsive or whether the person reciprocates. It's more what you want to do.
Yes.
Naturally.
Yes. Yeah.
I like
so
that.
I'd mentioned that it's two things. This one I'm not going to delve that deeply into, but we were also talking a lot about our sense of worth as guys, and how, you know, a lot of people don't realize, Guti, guys will approach women based on how they feel about themselves. So the degree to which you feel you are worthy, right? The degree to which you feel you've accomplished, the degree to which you feel like that you're a person, that's those are the people that you're gonna say to yourself, okay, this person is in my league. And it's very different for us because I mean, I've said this before, Guti, for us, the older we get, the more our confidence builds up, because you get a job, you get a car, you know, your confidence level comes up. And it's something that I've always wondered, Guti, you know, men who, as they grow, one of the reasons that you might find that they cheat is because they get wives early when the confidence level is still
There's a running joke on social media.
Is
Because,
it?
finally you are going for girls you afford.
There we go.
They are real
There we
time.
go. And I wonder if it's a matter of affording, because there's something that confidence does.
Yes.
Right? That gets activated within a man.
Yes.
Which then also brings me to the conversation of our recognizing our identity is our worth, our self-worth is delayed. There's something about us as men where I don't know what is it. Is it because no one tells us that we're worth it? Is it because
No, it's because that you. Sorry to interject you, but it's because you're told that your worth is measured by your material contribution to this world. And so because your material contribution increases with age, your self-worth increases with age. You're told that you are as worthy as you
only as good as the
money you can bring to the table.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you will actually often find that you will be sitting there as a woman thinking, Gandhi, why isn't this guy asking me out? Like, you've shown all the signs.
Oh, absolutely.
Gandhi, guy is constantly thinking this woman is not in my league.
Absolutely.
Yeah, is not, because we have to do a lot more. It takes a lot more for us to be like, okay, I can do this, or I can approach this person, because you're now looking at what you have and what you don't have, right?
Can I also comment on, we're running out of time now for comments and questions. This happens all the time. This new segment you came up with, reflection. But can I also say, given, in addition to what you were saying, is that your friend wasn't wrong when he said men need to say I love you more, in the sense that that was speaking to his love language and his needs, because love languages are so important. And you're basically saying, personally, my love language is acts of service. Personally, my love language is quality time. And perhaps maybe he is the kind of guy who just needs to hear, I'm proud of you, dog. Well done. I love you, dog. And maybe he's lacking that in his... This thing is very important, because there was there was a short clip one day that went around. I don't know, one of these, either Utataku, I don't think it was Utataku, but one of those kind of programs.
Yeah.
And this man says, this daughter's crying, saying, Mama, you've never said I love you. And the president is standing there, almost like, Ma, tell this kid you love her. And the mom goes,
It's a series. I remember that show.
And she's just so like, I love you.
It's done by Don Tandeka King.
Oh,
Yeah.
And the mom cannot reconcile that. No, it's not that kind of series. It was a reality show, like a real life show. Maybe they repeated it, but it was a real thing. Okay. And this person's just really dog, don't come tell me about you. I love you. My actions clearly show you that I love you. Would I work so hard for somebody I didn't love? What do you want from me? So that thing opened my eyes so much. Okay, reading the book, the 5 love languages, and then also just day-to-day experiences, identifying how somebody needs to be loved is very important. And also identifying that they change and the needs change. But the way somebody needs to be loved is, Bonga, please be professional. Identifying how somebody needs to be loved is really you can't do it any other way, because you will be screaming I love you in your way.
Yes.
And that will not be enough for them until you get to what it is they need, and how they respond to being loved.
Yeah, I must also say though that what I meant when I said that I don't agree is I meant it in the sense that let's look at men as being, let's say, a garden, right? A garden needs many different things.
Yes.
So I'm speaking to what the garden currently needs urgently in order for you to start seeing progress with your whatever you've planted. So it needs water, it needs manure, the soil needs to be turned, etc., etc. So what I'm speaking to, what I'm actually saying is not that we don't need those words of affirmation per se. What I'm trying to get at is what is currently urgent when I look at what's happening within the man.
I love that when I look at.
When I look at what's happening with us as men, is that we actually don't have someone to tell Uti, look, dude, I'm having a hard time, and not to be ridiculed for it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm struggling with this, or I've been dealing with the pressure of driving the same car for so long. You know what I mean? Because these are things that you can't really communicate or have a conversation with someone very easily, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's more, I'm speaking more to maybe I didn't express this well, but I'm speaking more to what I feel and what I see being more of an urgent need.
You know, Ishla, as you're speaking about love languages, I released a deep sigh because as I get older, I realized that the more complex it is.
Yes.
Because of the changing nature
Of humans.
So, for example, if you're with someone who struggles with a certain type of love language, then you guys become fixated on fixing this particular thing.
Yeah.
With a new transition in the relationship, the person has to step up to a not even step up, but just respond to a different need. And now when the person, because we've been so fixated on this one, now they have to learn a new thing. And that has been a big thing for me, because I'm like, as we get older, we are changing. So many things are changing about us, and so many of our situations that what used to be me needing affection or acts of service has now become me needing affirmations.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
Can I tell you, loving is a lot of intentionality and work. That's the word. It's work. There's a friend of mine who I believe is the greatest mom and wife I've ever met, and she's like, if I ever get married and have kids, like I'm gonna call her for everything. Like, oh my gosh, what do you say when your husband does this? Like, she's that person. Because she's so intentional. She takes it like her first job. That's her most serious job. And like, she's like a whole doctor at that time. But her most serious job is loving her family intentionally. And so one day we're like hanging out, and she tells me something that blew my mind away. You know what she does for her family? She chooses a love language. So the 5 love languages, she picks one per week to exercise on her husband and children. So if it's words of affirmation that week, she's writing them letters. And then the following week, it's physical contact. She's hugging and kissing them more. The following week, it's acts of service. She's, really packing lunch into the nines or whatever. And she like practices each love language. And she says she loves to enjoy and study how each one receives them differently, and also at different stages of their...
That's amazing.
Right?
Yeah.
Like really studying your people, saying, oh, okay, this one is now more receiving of physical contact. This one is, so that's absolutely amazing. Guys, we ran out of time.
Absolutely.
Nah, we have run out of time. You done?
Do you see why we can't make our episodes shorter? But anyways, yes, we can wrap up.
That was today's episode of The Conversation Capital. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. For now, though, goodbye and God bless.